Hi everybody, my name is Sana Munir and today I'll be sharing with you leadership value to include all in your classroom. Let's get started. First thing is the word equity. Equity to me means making sure every student has the resources and support they need to be successful. As teachers, we need to understand our students and provide the targeted support. We need to have a flexible classroom. We need to have visual aids. We need to be able to repeat the instruction as many times as needed. But how do we get these resources and support? Well, you need to know all of your students. You need to know each and every individual. And to do that, you need to make sure you have students empower their voices and share their experiences. As the facilitator, how will you do that? There's various resources, there's various websites. For example, we used a website called flipgrid.com, which the students absolutely loved. It's actually a website used for anything. You could use it for activities, morning meetings, reading responses, or math activities. Students have the ability to upload a video and share their thoughts. Also, they may comment on the other students' responses as well. The best thing is that they share their experiences and their voices are heard. Next thing is the classroom climate. Create a safe classroom climate. Pause, address, and discuss. How comfortable is your classroom? If a student does something wrong, how do you address the behavior? In a classroom, it's like a family. I always tell my students, we're like a family. So if there's something wrong with one of the family members, what do? You pause, you address, and you discuss. You don't pinpoint who did it, but as a family, you kind of talk about what was the good thing, what was the bad thing, what's the consequences. So create a classroom climate that's warm and inviting so students are able to open up and share their thoughts. Next thing is to acknowledge every student. Acknowledge every holiday. Use individual, paired, and group activities in your lesson. To acknowledge every student, whether they say a wrong answer, whether they say the right answer. That took courage. Acknowledge that student. Acknowledge every holiday. For example, I celebrate Ramadan. There was 3 students in my classroom this year who also celebrated Ramadan. And for them to see oh, my teacher also celebrated Ramadan this year, they were less embarrassed. They were able to share what they did in their holiday. They were able to feel a little more at ease because there was an adult in the school that also, understood what their beliefs are. Next thing is use individual, paired, and group activities in your lessons. I've always heard students tell me this. Sometimes they don't want to work in groups because, one student takes all the work. Some students prefer independent work. Some students like a one-on-one. So in your lessons, be flexible. Next thing is to value relationships. Students who feel safe in the classroom will perform better and gain your respect. Use activities such as a morning greeting, making connections, smiling often. Also, connecting with the families. We also did a lot of morning greetings this year, whether it's a morning question on the whiteboard or on Google Jamboard. We made connections. We smiled. As teachers, we forget to smile, but we're just humans. The main thing that I think was more effective this year was the connecting with families due to technology issues. And I was just on constant text messaging or class dojoing or emailing my parents. Have some fun things in your classroom. For example, we do something called Joke of the Day. I have fun with them. I take time and I listen to them. I show my authentic self. I may have a bad day. I have 2 kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And not all the days are going to be sunshine and roses. There's going to be days when my hair are looking crazy and they're like, Miss Munir, what happened to you? And I'll be like, I was dropping my kids off and, I just lost this or I forgot my lunch. And, they would just see oh, wow, she's a person. She's a human being. And she also can make mistakes. Another thing is when students respect their teacher, they feel motivated to try hard because they don't want to disappoint. You're kind of like a family member to them. Next thing we're going to look at is champion the needs of students and community. You want to have parent engagement as much as possible, be transparent, and build their trust. For example, during the snowstorm this year, in February, I reached out to all of my parents, and I knew that some needed shelter because of their electricity. Some needed supplies. The little effort I took just to text my families to make sure they're okay really went a long way. We built all these relationships. They were reaching out to me, making sure their child completed their online assignment. So it's these little things that make a really great deal. The next thing is to volunteer. Show your face other than the classroom. For example, we had the COVID vaccine given out to the family. So I volunteered. They had a lot of questions like, oh my God, what happens to you? Like, what happens to your arm? Just having a little conversation here and there just made them feel a little more comfortable to make sure to get this vaccine. Another thing I do is I post a lot on my teacher Instagram and my Twitter page. So the families are able to understand what's going on in my classroom. It kind of keeps them in the loop of what's happening. Always remember that it takes a village. Collaborate with your team. Communicate. Communicate with your parents. Communicate with your coworkers, your admin, your families. It's all about talking and learning and listening. So that is all for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed my practices to make sure I include all in my classroom. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.